Imagine a land shrouded in silence. A silence so deep, it feels as if the very essence of sound has been stripped away. This is not the silence of a peaceful night or a tranquil morning. This is a silence that carries weight, a silence that feels almost tangible, pressing down on everything it touches. A silence so profound it feels unnatural. This is Alaska today. The streets, once filled with the sounds of daily life, now lie empty and desolate. The usual hustle and bustle of the morning routines, the chatter of neighbors, the distant hum of vehicles, all have vanished, leaving behind an eerie stillness. Our usually bustling skies filled with the constant hum of aircraft are eerily empty. The airports, once the gateways to the world, now stand as silent sentinels, their runways devoid of the usual flurry of activity. The terminals, which once echoed with the sounds of travelers, announcements, and the rolling of luggage, now sit in a haunting quiet. A blanket of fear has settled over the last frontier. All airports are closed. The terrifying reason? Unknown. The signs of closure are everywhere, gates locked, planes grounded, and a pervasive sense of unease that hangs in the air. The usual vibrancy of the airports has been replaced by a ghostly stillness. We are left grappling with fragmented reports and unconfirmed whispers. Something happened, something that has left us all in a state of confusion and fear. The control towers, once the nerve centers of air travel, now stand empty, their screens dark, their operators gone. The lounges where travelers once waited for their flights now show only breaking news. Each report more alarming than the last, something bad enough to bring air travel to a standstill. The sight of grounded airplanes lined up on the tarmac like silent sentinels is a stark reminder of the gravity of the situation. Abandoned luggage carts, once bustling with activity, now sit idle, their purpose forgotten in the wake of the unknown threat. Could this be a taste of things to come? The anxious faces of the staff in the control room, the worried glances of people looking up at the sky, all suggest a deep-seated fear of what might be on the horizon. Is this the beginning of a new reality, one where the skies remain empty and the silence persists? Or is it a horrifying anomaly we can't afford to ignore? The beauty of the northern lights, dancing across the Alaskan night sky, stands in stark contrast to the empty airports below. This juxtaposition serves as a poignant reminder of the fragility of our world. As we stand on the precipice of the unknown, we must ask ourselves, what does this silence mean, and how will we respond to it? Alaska, for all its beauty, has a history marred by aviation disasters. The unforgiving terrain and unpredictable weather make flying inherently risky, but recent events, even those deemed minor, take on a new and unsettling significance. They serve as chilling reminders of how quickly things can go wrong, how fragile the line is between routine flight and unimaginable catastrophe. October 22nd, 2023. A seemingly ordinary day that would soon become unforgettable for everyone aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 47. A date etched in the memories of those aboard Alaska Airlines Flight 47. The flight took off from Seattle, bound for San Francisco with clear skies and calm weather. Passengers settled into their seats, some reading, others napping, unaware of the impending chaos. Joseph Emerson, the pilot, suffered a hallucinatory episode mid-flight. Emerson, a seasoned aviator with thousands of flight hours, suddenly found himself gripped by an inexplicable terror. He saw visions that weren't there, heard voices that didn't exist, and felt an overwhelming urge to act. He believed the only way to save the plane was to shut down the engines. In his altered state, Emerson was convinced that the aircraft was in imminent danger, and the only solution was to cut the power. His hands moved towards the engine controls, ready to execute what he thought was a life-saving maneuver. Terror gripped the passengers as the engine sputtered. The sudden loss of power caused the plane to shudder, and the once calm cabin erupted into panic. Passengers clutched their armrests, eyes wide with fear, as the reality of their situation set in. The quick thinking of the co-pilot averted disaster. Realizing what was happening, the co-pilot sprang into action, wresting control away from Emerson and restoring power to the engines. His decisive actions stabilized the aircraft, preventing what could have been a catastrophic event, but the incident left an indelible mark. As the plane made an emergency landing, emergency vehicles surrounded the aircraft and passengers disembarked with a mix of relief and lingering fear. The ordeal was over, but the emotional scars remained. A haunting reminder that even the most experienced pilots are vulnerable. Emerson's episode was a stark illustration of the human element in aviation. a field where precision and reliability are paramount. It underscored the importance of mental health and the need for vigilance even among the most seasoned professionals. The events of that day would be analyzed and discussed for years to come, serving as a sobering lesson for the entire aviation community. January 8, 2025, Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. A routine maintenance check takes a turn for the bizarre. Mechanics accidentally taxi a Boeing 737 into a ditch, a seemingly minor incident, yet it underscores the ever-present potential for human error. A simple mistake, a lapse in judgment. Could a similar oversight be responsible for the current crisis gripping Alaska's skies? The possibility is too real to ignore. March 11, 2024, and April 18, 2025. Two dates, two separate incidents, both involving United Airlines planes leaking fuel. The first incident occurred on a routine flight from New York to Los Angeles. Midway through the journey, passengers noticed a strong smell of fuel. Panic ensued as the crew worked to manage the situation. The plane made an emergency landing and fortunately no one was hurt. While not directly related to Alaska, the second incident was eerily similar. This time it was a flight from Chicago to Seattle. Again, a fuel leak was detected, and the plane had to divert to the nearest airport. The passengers were safe, but the underlying issue remained unresolved. These events highlight a terrifying vulnerability in modern aviation. The integrity of fuel systems in aircraft is paramount. Yet these incidents reveal potential flaws that could have catastrophic consequences, the potential for catastrophic fires. Imagine a scenario where a fuel leak goes unnoticed until it's too late. A single spark could ignite the fuel, leading to a disaster of unimaginable proportions. The horrific consequences if a spark were to ignite a fuel leak mid-flight. The plane could be engulfed in flames within seconds, leaving little to no time for the crew to react. The safety of hundreds of passengers would be at stake. Could a similar scenario be unfolding in Alaska? The harsh weather conditions and remote locations make it even more challenging to manage such emergencies. The thought of a fuel leak in such an environment is terrifying. The thought sends chills down the spine. As we continue to rely on air travel, it's crucial to address these vulnerabilities. Ensuring the safety of passengers and crew should be the top priority. The lurking danger of fuel and fire must be mitigated before it leads to a tragedy. The details remain shrouded in mystery. Unconfirmed reports, speculation running rampant. What we do know is this: all inbound and outbound flights to Alaska have been grounded. Airports are deserted, passengers are stranded. Fear is the only common denominator. The silence is deafening. Was it a catastrophic mechanical failure, a cyber attack crippling air traffic control, or something more sinister? Terrorism hasn't been ruled out. The lack of information only fuels speculation, each theory more unsettling than the last. The impact is immediate and far-reaching. Alaska, so reliant on air travel, is effectively cut off. The tourism industry, already reeling from the pandemic, faces another devastating blow. Essential supplies dwindle, families are separated. The economic and social consequences are staggering. As we await answers, one question hangs heavy in the air. What does this mean for the future of aviation? Will we ever feel safe boarding a plane again? The events unfolding in Alaska are a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the fragility of our interconnected world, and the terrifying possibility that the skies, once a symbol of progress and freedom, could become our greatest fear.